Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into a really fascinating and maybe a little controversial idea. Is risk management, this thing that's all about process and control, actually the enemy of innovation? It's a huge claim, so let's really get into it.
I mean, look at this quote pulled right from a project management magazine. The absolute antithesis of innovation. Wow. It's a pretty bold statement, right? It basically says that if you want to be creative, you have to throw risk management out the window.
But is it really that black and white? Is that the whole story? Does managing uncertainty really mean you have to shut down every new idea? Let's find out.
Okay, let's put this whole claim under the microscope and see if it holds up. To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to figure out where this idea even came from. And honestly, it comes from a pretty old school, almost cartoonish view of what risk management used to be.
Yeah, in this old way of thinking, the goal was just don't deviate. Stick to the plan no matter what. And you can totally see why that would feel like a creativity killer, right? It's all about clinging on for dear life to the original plan and shutting down any kind of change.
And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out. The difference is night and day. On one hand, you have this old caricature that's all about preventing variation and just stifling creativity. But on the other, you have the modern reality, which is all about embracing change and actually requires creativity to even work.
And that right there, that's the core of it. Modern risk management isn't the enemy of innovation. It literally can't function without it. In fact, it's absolutely essential in two key areas.
So, first up, you've got to be creative just to figure out what the risks are in the first place. And then you need a whole other level of creativity to figure out what to do about them. Let's break that down a bit.
Okay, so for part one, identifying risks, it's all about thinking the unthinkable. You can't just read the project plan and call it a day. No way. You have to imagine everything that's not in the plan. You got to ask those big, kind of scary what-if questions to find out what could go wrong. But also, and this is key, what could go surprisingly right.
And we're not just talking about vague concepts here. These are actual, hands-on, creative techniques that people use all the time. I'm talking about things like brainstorming sessions or assumptions busting, where you challenge every single thing you think is true. Scenario planning, futures thinking, it's all about using your imagination to find those hidden threats and, maybe even better, those hidden opportunities.
Okay, so that's finding the risks. But what about responding to them? This quote from Einstein just nails it. You can't fix a problem with the same mindset that got you into it in the first place.
Exactly. I mean, just pointing at a risk and saying, yep, there it is, doesn't do a thing. The real creative spark comes in when you have to decide what to do about it. Coming up with a smart response means you might have to invent a whole new plan of action, something that wasn't even on your radar before.
And this old proverb says it all, doesn't it? If you know you're heading for a cliff, just walking faster in the same direction isn't going to help. The whole point is that to deal with a risk effectively, you often have to make a real change, to find a totally new path forward.
So, all of this, it brings us to a completely new way of thinking about the whole goal of risk management. It's not just about damage control anymore. Not by a long shot.
So here it is, the modern definition. Check this out. It's a proactive process. It's about getting ahead of things. And look at that key phrase, embracing both threats and opportunities. It's a two-sided coin. It's not just about dodging bullets. It's about spotting treasure.
So this new mindset, it's a total game changer. It's not afraid of change. It actually welcomes it. It's always on the lookout for ways to improve, to work smarter, faster, cheaper. It sees uncertainty not just as a danger, but as a potential source of real value.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. Let's go back to that original idea and give our final verdict on this whole risk versus creativity debate.
It turns out the phrase that makes absolutely no sense, the real contradiction in terms, is this one.
Yep, uncreative risk management. That's the real oxymoron. Think about it. A risk process that has zero innovation, well, it isn't really managing anything, is it? It's just waiting for the inevitable to happen.
And that leaves us with one final thought for you. The next time you're in a meeting about risk or you're thinking about your own project, ask yourself this. Are you just following a checklist? Are you just going through the motions? Or are you actually using this as a moment to be creative, to find a hidden opportunity and to build something even better? The answer? Well, that's up to you.